Hey everyone, welcome back to the Sunny Side. I'm Sunny, and this video right here, right now, it's all about the North Node in Aquarius and the South Node in Leo. Everybody got that? North Node, it looks like a little N. I'll show you guys on the chart in a second. North Node in Aquarius, South Node in Leo. Everybody got that? It's called, in other words, it's known as the dragon's tail. The dragon's head and the dragon's tail are whatever. So anyways, hey everybody, welcome back to the Sunny Side. I'm Sunny, and for those who don't know, I am a professional astrologer. I do write horoscopes for some of the newspapers up here in Canada. And if you want me to have a look at your personal chart, for a fee of course, then just check out how to do that in the description box below. And there's just a little blah blah before we get into the video. These are long videos. When I talk about the nodes here, or the moon, or Mars, or Venus, you know, about this, there tend to be longer videos. So if you want to watch it on fast forward, it's a lot of fun, and that might help a little bit. All right, so just let you know what the format is. I'm going to tell you what's going on here on the channel, and after that, there's a number of astrology writers. I have their interpretations of this particular astrological placement here, and I'm going to give you my 2 cents on what they have to say. Now let's go easy on some of these guys. Quite often, it's easy for and I'm one of these guys too, right? So it's easy for an astrologer to confuse the when they're describing things, especially when you write horoscopes every day. You figure out new ways to describe things, or more creative ways to describe it. It's easy to mix up the sign with the house, and although they're similar, they're not the same. And quite often when people say, hey Sonny, that North Node in Aquarius, I'm nothing like that, what the hell? Or hey Sonny, my sun sign is in Pisces, I'm nothing like a Pisces. Or hey, you know, the I'm an Aries in Western astrology, but in Vedic astrology I'm a Pisces, and I resonate more strongly with my Vedic sign, and like whatever, like there's whatever. So it's easy to get confused. A lot of the pop culture, you know, things we read in pop cultures and memes, they're not entirely accurate. Some of the stereotypes don't hold true for everybody. And although there is truth, a degree of truth in stereotypes, it's not 100% true. And there's a different way of looking at things. You know, that's the way to do it. All right, so that's the blah, blah, and blah, blah. So that's what's going to go down on this channel. It's going to go down in the video. I'm going to read off here all this North Node in Aquarius, South Node in Leo stuff, and I'll tell you what's going on. Now, here's the blah, blah, what's going on the channel. For those who are new to the channel, please subscribe. The subscribers' latest subs are right up there. And so please subscribe to the channel. Give the video a thumbs up. Maybe share it with your friends. Please, please, please share the videos with your friends. We're trying to grow the channel here. And anyways, we have astrology workshops every month. You know, if you want to learn more about astrology, learn more about your signs and more about your birth chart or the transits that are coming up. I alternate every month between astrology and tarot. In addition to that, there are always sales down here. Not always, but often I have specials going on. Right now there's a Mother's Day special, and you'll find that on one of the websites. And again, there are links to that in the description of the box below. For those who are new to the channel, this is TheSunnySide.net. Obviously, or not obviously, this is what my website looks like. This is where you go if you want to find out more about me. It's where you get your astrology reports. It might be on sale. Check it out in the description box. And blah, blah, and blah, blah. On top of all of that, we are sponsored by the Astroside.com. This is where you go to get your cool SunnySide gear, SunnySide 2.0 t-shirts and hoodies for the kids, for the adults. Maybe you wear leggings, maybe you wear socks. I don't know where you are in the world right now. SunnySide mugs, these are really cool. And lots of different meme t-shirts and really cool badass hoodies. They're really cool black badass. These hoodies are awesome. Where's I'm gonna have to hunt for the Aquarius one. Well, here's the Leo one. I'll show you this and then we'll move on. So, wouldn't it be cool to be a Leo and you show up to yoga and say one of these? Yeah, that would be badass. All right, whatever. All right, let's get on with it. So that's the deal with that. That's the Astroside.com. All right, so what's the deal with the nodes? So some people, so there are 2 nodes. So first off, what are the nodes? All right, what is a node, Sonny? Hey Sonny, I gotta pick my nodes. I gotta pick my nodes. You don't pick your nodes. Okay, so the nodes are a point in, right, I'll explain to you. So imagine that this guy right here is the Earth, and he's cruising along like this, and I'm the sun. and the Earth is revolving around the sun. Yes, in the solar system, that's the way we're going to do it today. Because the Earth is revolving around the sun. And this line that he's moving across right here is his orbit, right? The line is the pen represents the orbit. And this guy is the moon. All right, so the moon revolves or orbits around the sun, around the Earth like this, and together they revolve around the sun like that. Now, where this guy crosses the Earth's orbit around the sun, so not over here, because that's not the orbit, not over here, because that's not, but here, this is the orbit and this is the orbit, because it's moving this way. Wherever the moon, the two sides that the moon crosses the orbit, those are known as the nodes. So that's where it is. Those are the marks that represents the nodes. That's the dragon in astrology. Once again, it's where the moon's orbit crosses, the moon orbiting around the sun crosses the orbit of the sun orbiting around, of the Earth orbiting around the sun. All right, you got it, whatever. All right, next. Well, what does it represent? Oh, that's a good question, Sonny. Sonny, I'm getting confused. Are you guys getting confused? All right, what does it represent? What does it represent? Well, imagine, some people like to say that the south node represents your past life. Now, maybe you don't believe in that stuff. That's fine with me. I don't really care. And, but it has to be applicable to even if you don't care. You'd be like, hey, Sonny, I don't know. Okay, whatever, Sonny, just keep it together. So it's also stuff that comes, let's look at it another way. So forget about karmic lessons or stuff that you bring with your past lives. It tends to be stuff that you go to, that you have problems in. It tends to be an abundance of energy. I'm doing this with my hands because some say that it's a bowl that's running, that's overly filled, that it's overflowing. I'm confusing my metaphors. I'm mixing my metaphors here. Let's hold on one second. Let's go back a bit. In astrology, it's said that Saturn, the planet of karma, rules the south node over here. And the north node is ruled by Mars. Now, some astrologers say all of the bad planets rule the south node, and some say all the good planets rule the north node. As such, wherever the south node is in your chart is going to be some fucked up stuff. It's going to be bad, or it's too much. It's the bad part of whatever that sign is, or it's too much of that sign. And in today's case, the south node is in Leo, so the bowl overfloweth. The south node overflows in Leo. Is too much shit going on. It's too much Leo, and the negative Leo. It's as such. It's the negative parts of Leo. There's too much. It's too prideful. It's too loud and proud. It's too playful. It's too not give a shit anybody. It's too look at me. It's too ego based. It's too fuck you. It's too much Leo. It's too much look at my hair. Hey man, I'm looking good. Hey, you look like, putting other people down. Like, it's too much of that. And on the other hand, the north node in Aquarius is supposed to be the good stuff. Now, there's a finite amount of energy that goes between these two, the nodes, the axis here. So if this is too much of Leo, then you're going to have not enough of Aquarius. And as such, you're going to be lacking in certain areas that Aquarius represents, like humanity, like being cool for everybody, like having sex with your friends, like running around in the bush and at some like naked techno glitter party, so like very like, so like a very Aquarius kind of stuff. Humanity, doing things differently, being eccentric, caring about everybody, being a real leader of the team, Leo, leader. Aquarius, the team, leader of the team. And so it all depends for you personally how you balance out this energy. Now, having said that, so I'll say it again. Some say south node bad, north node good. But then other people say in astrology, south node bad, north node bad too. Because if you don't have enough, then it's like fucked up. All right? So you put it all here, you're not using it there. And that's the imbalance, and that's the nodes. That didn't make no fuck sense, did it? All right, well, whatever. Let's say south node's fucked up. You want to South node, it's also, they say it's Saturn, right? So it's similar to Saturn. So it's going to represent your karma, all the bullshit in your life that you drag ass with past lives, if you're into that past life thing. So in this situation, this South node is in Leo, making it loud and proud. So it means your past life lessons, you did some kind of loud and proud egomaniacal kind of thing in a past lives. Maybe you were a narcissist and you're coming into this life, and you could be a beautiful, have beautiful Aquarian tendencies, but instead you do some fucked up Leo shit. And that's the gist of what it is. All right, next. Let's show you where it falls, what it looks like in astrology on your birth chart. So this is a birth chart, or this is an astrological chart. If you're not born on this day, it's not a birth chart. This here is the North Node. See, it looks like an N. And this here is the South Node. And it looks like a cup. It's a cup. That's the deal. Now, this is the area of life where there are going to be problems. There's too much energy going on here. In the Leo case, it's me, 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 me. Look at me, But your goal is to transform this energy from the me, me, me into the we. So, into the we. So, okay. So that's the deal. So that's the deal. They say Leo likes to be on stage. Aquarius, Leo likes to be on stage. Leo likes to be the center of attention. Aquarius likes to be in the audience with the people watching the show. Everybody cool? Leo's the center of attention. Leo's on stage. Leo's in the spotlight. Aquarius is watching the spotlight with everybody else. Leo is a fire sign. It's very fiery. In a past life, you might have been very, yeah, let's get this done. It's also a very playful sign. Aquarius can be quite uptight at times. Actually, I consider Aquarius a very playful sign as well. And actually, these guys right here, both of these guys like to have a lot of fun. And they just like to have fun in different ways. They like to have fun in different ways. Leo is very showy, and Aquarius is quite eccentric in their ways of doing it. This is also a bit of an axis of leadership. Leo is a born leader. Aquarius is a born leader. So there are leadership qualities with if the nodes are in this position here, with the North Node up in Aquarius and the South Node in Leo, you're going to have a lot of leadership qualities. A lot of, that's the deal. That's the deal. Anyways, that's what it looks like in your birth chart. So if you were born and you have that in your chart, that's what it looks like. All right, let's get down to see what these guys, let's go down and see what they said. Because they wrote a lot about this stuff, about this particular transit. This is a fairly, in the grand scheme of things, this one is a fairly easy one. So they went on and on and on. All right, here we go. So, natal node, North Node in Aquarius, South Node in Leo. All right, here we go. The dragon's head in Aquarius is fortunate for the native. The native is the person, right? It's fortunate for the native from the moral and emotional standpoint. He is benevolent, faithful, and sincere, and will be fortunate in his affections. I bet you wouldn't hear that about. I wouldn't believe you'd hear that one, right? But anyways, he's benevolent, faithful, sincere, and will be fortunate in his affections. Many friends will try to help him, and he may expect to progress. He may take up politics or become the leader of a school or the head of an association. This is the dragon's head in Aquarius. Good things happening in a very Aquarius way. This position mitigates the evil influence which other planetary aspects may exert over marriage and the stability of wedlock. All right, so this is this can be a good position if you emphasize the North Node for marriage and wedlock. In the third decan of Aquarius, especially, the lofty and noble sentiments of the native will procure for him universal esteem and love. Now, before we go on, this it's a balance, and this balance, or it's a flow of energy back and forth, but it's like a balance. And so this balance gets thrown off in different ways. If you have planets, it gets thrown off with aspects to other planets when planets aspect it. So right now, planets are aspecting the nodes for everybody in a transit kind of way. Now in your chart, if one of the planets transits the south node, you're going to be having like a south node kind of experience. If it's transiting the north node, you're going to have a north node kind of experience. Now they're opposite, right? So they're going to they're going to affect the nodes at the same time, but it's going to have different influences. Anyways, when we talk about aspects and aspecting the nodes, then we'll talk more about it. But just know, the nodes have to really be activated in order for it to have an effect on you. Next, the dragon's tail in Leo gives rashness and fighting proclivities, which may often bring trouble. Okay, so the dragon's tail in Leo can make someone loud and proud and cause some bullshit to happen. The native is, however, endowed with courage. Obviously, Leo's a sign of courage, and will know how to defend themselves. He is noble-hearted, and though quick-tempered, not vindictive. Worries and troubles may be caused through gossip and over-readiness to confide his plans, so that others may actually take advantage of him. So, South Node in Leo can make someone overconfident, obviously loud and proud, and they can, it's easy for people to take advantage of someone with the South Node in Leo. There's also an instinctive tendency to meddle with other people's affairs and overconfidence, which leads to difficulties. Next, Isabel Hickey said, the North Node in Aquarius shows the path of spiritual progress, shows that the path of spiritual progress is the pathway of, so North Node, spiritual progress. South Node, bullshit karma. North Node, spiritual progress. And in this way, it's in an Aquarian way, which is the pathway of service to the group. They like to say service, right? But it just means hanging out and being cool with the group and bringing to light things for a larger group of people. Leo brings it to light to themselves. Aquarius brings it in light to the group, right? It's the water bear. All right, next. Okay. The path of spiritual progress is the pathway of service to the group through an understanding of the unity of all life. Field of activity should be one that affects society and not an individual. Science, medicine, research, and philosophical or educational fields would be avenues that could be used magnificently. The South Node in Leo is the indication that the person misused his power and developed far too much ego in the past. This time there must be concern for others instead of a concern for a self-grandeur. All right, obviously. Next, once again, too much Leo, not enough Aquarius. You've got to go good Aquarius, bad Leo, good Aquarius. These nodes represent, so Martin Schulman says, these nodes represent the struggle between the personal life and an impersonal dedication to humanity. These nodes represent the struggle between personal life, which is Leo, and okay. Now that's actually more of a 5th house versus 11th house kind of 5th house, which Leo rules, to an 11th house thing, which Aquarius rules. And like I said earlier, you can, it doesn't necessarily mean this, because if Leo was in the 7th house, let's say in your chart, if Leo was in the 7th house and Aquarius was in the 1st house, then you would be totally different. You would be all about your partnership. You'd put too much, you'd be an overbearing partner and you would cause problems in your relationships. This one in the 5th house talks about individual versus the 11th house, which is humanity. So yes, not so much. And this is one of the reasons, the big reasons, that people are like, hey Sonny, that doesn't sound like me at all. You know why? Because it's not you. So next, the Leo South Node, okay, so let's get back to Martin here. The Leo South Node symbolizes prior lives where much revolved around the self. That's true. The North Node in Aquarius points to a future of service for mankind. I don't know where these get this. Where the individual will assume the role of the water bearer so that he may be an instrument in the crusade for world evolution. Before he can do this, the enormous power of the Leo South Node must be dealt with. From past incarnations, he has a tendency to look down on other people and to be condescending of their thoughts and ideas. There's an intense pride which leads him towards name-dropping, as well as designing his life so that he is seen and known to be in the company of special people. He separates between royalty and the common man, setting himself or others close to him on pedestals. Seeing himself as a central point of the universe, he views his powerful will as the means of obtaining his ends, rather than adjusting to a fair acceptance of life. I don't see anything wrong with that. Anyways, he bends things to his will, he's condescending, and he has a regal air to him, or a role of he's condescending. Anyways, his karma now is to learn how to walk lightly without leaving footsteps, for in essence, he is the ruler making ready to abdicate his throne. Whatever. Consequently, it's like a no jizz orgasm is this thing. Like, this guy's like, he's not entirely making it. He's just, whatever. Constantly, his past life ego rears its ugly head, preventing him from achieving the very happiness he seeks. These nodes cause great difficulties in marriage, although the other guy said it's good. Okay. But he has a good point here. These nodes cause great difficulties in marriage, for the individual experiences a strong tendency to dominate those close to him. When he can't do this, he becomes a complete hermit, freeing himself of all responsibilities out of sheer disgust. While he asks others for advice, he still must do things his own way. His biggest conflicts center around what is artificial and what is real. There is so much martyr-like romanticism in his Leo South node that he finds it easy to slip into the role of Don Quixote chasing windmills. He must learn how to shed masks, ultimately discovering that ego-centered displays of dignity are coming from past life habits and do very little now towards bringing him any lasting happiness. For those whom he does hold near and dear, he is highly protective, and yet he has a strange tendency to wander, finding on his journeys many of the waifs and strays of society. That is true. That is quite astute. I'll say that again. For those whom he does hold near and dear, he is highly protective, and yet he has that's a very Leo kind of thing anyways, and yet he has a strange tendency to wander, finding on his journeys many of the waifs and strays of society. In these outermost regions where society overlooks existential possibilities, he discovers new horizons to explore and conquer. Now, he's saying it from a Leo perspective, but what do you think? Like, what do you think? You know, it's the juxtaposition between Leo and Aquarius. Aquarius, weirdos and freaks. North node in Aquarius, South node in Leo, you attract weirdos and freaks. He's destined to spend his life alone, spend part of his life alone, for his unique character is too overbearing to be readily accepted by most people. It's not just overbearing. This guy's going a little hard on the Leo side of things and not hard enough on the Aquarian's a little weird kind of thing. He's destined, anyway, so it's an Aquarian energy mixing with Leo energy. You have someone who's very eccentric, very confident in himself, very fixed. These are fixed signs. He likes it. He's loud and proud, very confident, very sure of himself. He's quite considerably, he's a considerable outside of the box thinker, and as such, he creates friction and cacophony where he travels, and as such, he'll go it alone because he has the confidence to go it alone. Okay, although he enjoys having others recognize and applaud his grandiose achievements, he cannot stoop to chase people. His soul remembers a sense of pride which now forbids him to compromise his dignity. If given the right cause, he will sacrifice entire life for it. It is not the sympathy of others that interests him so much as their admiration for his glorious deeds. He is repulsed by mediocrity, seeing it as a threat to his ever-present drive to reach the top, to burst the bubble, to grab for the brass ring. If he's of the negative type, he may even use people to achieve his ends. Friends, neighbors, and relatives become stepping stones on the rungs of a success ladder. Through the Aquarius North node, he learns to overcome his past life sense of prestige and develops the concept of universal brotherhood. He must ultimately come to see himself as a part of a larger cosmic sphere in which his role is to share in the burden of human evolution. So instead of me, he has to think we. He will reach his greatest happiness when he's able to set aside his own needs and substitute in their place a new humanitarian attitude towards all he sees around him. He's able to forget pride, and reach for new original horizons, no matter how eccentric his ideas seem to others. Like I said, get naked and go party in the bush. Glitter, naked with glitter, right? What the hell? Anyways, he's given the promise of a unique adventure through which he can make an important contribution to the progress of civilization. The house position of the South Node indicates the area of life that's too burdened with the desire for personal achievement. Guys, got that? The desire for personal achievement. That's the South Node in Leo. Wherever it is in your chart, that's where it's going to be. So if it's in the second house, your South Node in Leo in the second house. Again, I do personal readings if you want me to help you with this. The South Node in Leo in the second house, you're going to spend overwhelming pursuit with your personal finances. In the seventh house, you're going to be relationship. You're going to be an overbearing partner in your pursuit. It's going to be, it's all going to be about your relationships. For the fourth house, it's going to be your house and family. 10th house, your career. So it all depends on where it shows up in your house. The house position of the North Node shows how the individual can set himself free from the shackles of his past life ego by realizing the mission for humanity for which he's destined to pick up its cross. Just be careful not to piss your money away, right? Just because your North Node is in Aquarius doesn't mean you should piss your money away, or you should cheat on your partner, or you should be a jackass, or you should, overly indulge in certain things. Anyways, Mohan Kapoor is up next. Previous incarnation for this person, again, these guys talking about past lifestyle. Previous incarnation for this person was very individualized, and he had no time for others. That should be obvious. Often, his status in life was pretty high, and others had great respect for his powers in the society. In this lifetime, he has to learn to mix with others at all levels and solve their problems, whether he likes it or not. Interest and abilities regarding the occult and uncommon spectrum of knowledge are given at his disposal. Let's say all of that again. That's quite interesting. Often, his status in life was pretty high, and others had great respect for his powers in society. Okay, whatever. In this lifetime, these guys say lifetime, but it can mean when you were younger, then as a teenager, and then as you progress through life, it's how it works out. In this lifetime, or this point in his life, he has to learn to mix with others at all levels and solve their problems, whether he likes it or not. Interests and abilities regarding the occult and uncommon spectrum of knowledge are given at his disposal. His innovations, Aquarius, right? His innovations and abilities to tackle situations are quite amazing. He may be considered quite uncommon by others, or his goals are at least far from normal. Others may like him for his abilities, but not necessarily what he's trying to achieve in life. Unpredictability is always on his side, though he has difficulty dealing with it in this lifetime. All right, next, Donna Van Toen. Oh, Donna writes, she wrote a lot. Okay, it says, your lovers should always be your best friends. Should also be your best friends. I don't see what's so weird about that. Is Aquarius. I know I'm going to party by themselves naked in the bush. That's a little weird. Yeah, that's weird, man. Yeah, that's weird. You should party naked in the bush with your friends. All right. Your lovers, unless you're like a fairy. Right, okay. Your lovers should also be your friends. Your Leo South Node may reply, yeah, but that's not romantic. All right. Your problem is a lack of detachment. You're lacking the Aquarius thing, right? And the Aquarius is about detachment. Possible reasons. An excessive craving for warmth. Leo, excessive craving for warmth. A tendency to choose to close your eyes to unpleasant truths. Misuse of potential power. A tendency to attach strings to any help you give. Self-concern blinds you to other people's needs. Or maybe you use romantic courtship rituals as a means of postponing having to display the real you. Possible solutions. All right, okay. Possible solutions. Give of yourself without demanding anything in return. Channel your imagination into beneficial group activities, reform work, etc. Display the courage of your convictions. Worry excessively about the impression you make. What? How is that it? And fart with the windows closed. Can you imagine? You just told me to fart with the window closed? Yes, I am. Okay. Anyways. No, the real solution is to live your life. Just be the best you can be. Just smile. Be compassionate. Be slow to anger and quick to forgive. That's the secret in life. The Leo South Node craves, and plus we all know Aquarians don't fart anyways. All right. Leo South Node, but okay. Leo South Node craves involvement in fun, in creative projects, in love, whatever. But without your developing the Aquarius North Node's potential for detachment, all right, you guys ready? This is important. If you don't develop the Aquarian's North Node potential for detachment, the end result is quantity without quality. That's not true. There's something else that's going to happen here. You're going to get yourself taken advantage of. People with a Leo South Node are easily taken advantage of. They like to help people. They want to feel part of the team. Leos have the biggest heart of the zodiac. They're doing it. They want to be loved. You know, the South Node, they want to be loved. They're helping because they want to be loved. They want to be part of the team. They want to belong. But we all know the world is filled with motherfuckers and assholes who take advantage of these really big-hearted people. And as such, they get taken advantage of. So these guys are saying to express your aloof and detached Aquarius North Node. So to give without expecting any love in return. It's a real difficult thing. I know some of these guys say it's really good, but they're saying to love without loving and without expecting any love in return, or to give freely or to give openly. The problem is these people who have the Leo South Node, they're an easy target for motherfuckers who just aren't as good. Because remember, these guys have somewhat of a celebratory or a celebrated upbringing. They were very successful when they were younger, and they shine very brightly even when they're cruising along. And they're very, and they want you to succeed, right? These guys are cheerleaders. They want you to succeed, and they're gonna help. They just want to, go to the after party after the show. Anyways, whatever. So these guys are saying to detach from the outcome, but you have to watch out. There's a reason for this. There's a reason why you have to watch out. Leo South Node finds it virtually impossible to come into contact with another person without getting involved. Oh my God, check it out, a new subscriber. Hey, what's up, playa? Okay, everybody calm down. Since these involvements tend to be made in the heat of the moment, however, they often prove unfulfilling in the long run. The solution is to develop the Aquarian North Node's detachment, rationality, and independence. Some typical indications of an overbalanced Leo South Node are exaggeration, a need to be the center of the attention, many acquaintances, few real friends, a tendency to show off his or her body or wardrobe. What will people think approach to things, Leo, right? Negative Leo stuff. Dependency on what others reinforce and confide, a belief that some people are just plain inferior no matter what they do. Artsy dabbling, theatrical, melodramatic. Anyways, the North Node in Aquarius dreams of freedom, of transcending the limitations of his or her structure, environment, and being able to do whatever he or she wants without interference. He or she might dream of self-employment in a career in science, teaching, or some other humanitarian field, like tree planting. This person dreams of the day when he or she can be independent of others except on his or her terms, right? These guys, they're eccentric, they're rebellious, and they like to do things on their own terms, and these guys are entrepreneurs. This person in contrast, this person is inclined to be rather starstruck, or at least in awe of authority figures. Interesting. At the same time, he or she has very definite opinions which are swayed only on the basis of irrevocable evidence that they're wrong. This is a fixed sign. The nodes are in fixed signs here. This person is outgoing and inclined to get out and socialize as much as possible. The need for independence, conflict, and often sabotage each end of the nodal scale. Only when needs are reconciled will fulfillment be found. Whatever. Aquarius, antidote for Aquarius imbalance. Any type of scientific study for which the client shows aptitude would be a good antidote. Public speaking should be encouraged. Blah, blah, blah. Writing is an excellent antidote, blah, blah, blah. Music, blah, blah, blah. Naturally, astrology will come to mind as an antidote because it's, you know, it's an outside of the box kind of approach to things. And these people must be made aware of their potentials into which they were born, since many are inclined to feel that they have only one talent and can become very discouraged if circumstances close doors or block paths in that direction. All right. Yeah, you must, you know, if you have this transit, understand that you can do more than what you're doing, right? Don't worry about setbacks. All right, a little more. Wow, I should have. Okay, let's see what these guys say. Okay, let's see what else is going on here. Hayden Paul, 2 more guys. Hayden Paul says, you may need to move away from self-preoccupation, Leo, right, towards a greater social connectedness and contribution. You may see yourself as the center of the universe and everything revolving around you as the sun. So this challenging attitude shift can be difficult. Your egocentric nature may need transforming. You may need to break down superior attitudes and hidden assumptions that, by feeling special, your ideas, opinions, and beliefs are more correct than those of others. Yeah, I don't agree with, like, go do it, man. Go do it. Maybe you are better than others. You may enjoy public recognition and attention, even if this simply involves being in the company of people who have a celebrity and fame, as this reinforces your belief in being special. Eventually, self-imposed masks of pride and dignity may become restrictive for you, obstructing the experience of feelings of connectedness with life. Right? Too much of this, and, you know, the Aquarius is going to kick in. You may, however, prefer to direct willpower to achieve desires and ambitions for self-gratification and personal advantage alone. The South Node's house position will indicate the likely nature of personal desires and endeavors. Self-assertion comes naturally, but you may create problems in relationships by being overly domineering. Unless your assertiveness can be matched by an equally strong person whom you learn to respect, conflict will occur. Obviously. But the Leo is the king, and the king is looking for a queen. So if you're a queen, you jiggy with this vibe. If you don't jiggy with the vibe, you better find someone else. This could come from an attempt to impose your will. If this becomes excessive, a fragmented of your partner's individuality can occur, which may force him or her to either to submit passively or to leave the relationship in order to reconnect himself or herself. Right. So if you're too domineering, if you're too much South Node in Leo, you're gonna fuck up your relationship. Some people might not be able to handle it. This dominating, you have to find someone that you can, like, work together with. You know, that's all it's saying. All right, next. Discover your essential life values so that you stop wasting energy in futile directions and apply it instead towards whatever offers personal meanings and benefits others too. Sometimes you may chase romantic dreams, but recognizing what is important must be your first priority. Once you know what is personally important, this insight could serve as a guide. To reach this stage, though, may require confronting experiences that starkly reveal the consequences of previous unsatisfactory choices, unclear values, and uncertain directions. You guys got that? So you can do it. It's just going to be difficult. All right. A fundamental conflict can arise between pursuing personal desires and the contribution you can make to help create a more caring and humanitarian society. This is the Aquarius pull, encouraging you to join the worldwide work by using your talents and energies to benefiting the personal aims. Blah, 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 blah. Let me show you something here. So the nodes really work like this. So the South Node is what you have to do. Or the South Node, in this situation, this is what's going on here. So the node is down here. This is what you want to do. You want to do me, 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 me. But these motherfuckers have got some kind of thing. For some reason, you're going to want to light the candle and show everybody the way. But you want to show everybody the way. But at the same time, you want a little bit of respect. Because we all know that when you light a candle and you show everybody the way, there are a whole bunch of idiot motherfuckers who are going to donkey up your scene. And you have, a regal and a very proud and a very, very successful background, so to speak. And you don't want to be surrounded by all this fucked upness, but at this, all this bullshit. You just want to shine a light for everybody to do their thing, but at the same, so you want to shine a light, drag all these idiot motherfuckers along so they can, be cool with the ride, but at the same time, you want a little bit of respect in the process. A lot like a Virgo. Neither of these guys are Virgo, but a Virgo, they like to help people. They want to show people the thing. They just don't want to be loved. They want a little appreciation. And Leo wants a little appreciation. If it overheats, they can want too much appreciation, obviously. Now, the problem is, it's in Aquarius. So it's going to attract weirdos and freaks and idiot motherfuckers and the eccentric. It's going to naturally draw out the eccentricities in people, and you're an easy fucking target. So as such, all you want to do is make everybody happy. You want to show everyone a better way. You want a little respect for what you've achieved in life, but it's not always going to come because, life gets in the way, and idiot motherfuckers are idiot motherfuckers, and they're going to step on your dick, and that's just the way it is. So you're either going to play with yourself or you're going to play with the crew. But you can't expect the crew to appreciate who you are because, they just fucking don't, okay? So once you clue into that reality, everything is going to be fine. Don't be such a, don't expect your job, you're just shining the light on everybody. So, you're shining the light on a way. You're bringing consciousness to humanity. That's the water bearer. You're bringing consciousness to humanity. And they're not ready, so who gives a fuck? Your job is not to, you lead them to water. It's up to them if you want to drink. You can show them porn. It doesn't mean they know how to jerk off. It's that simple, is it that's all I'm saying. You can lead a motherfucker to porn. You can't make him... Anyways. Next. Okay. It says you need to find a cause which inwardly summons you to follow the Aquarian impulse, because this gives life meaning and purpose, much more so than just chasing desires. And these guys don't chase people. They chase ideas. The Leo, they don't chase they chase ideas, right? They chase Aquarius ideas. All right. Whereas a Libra might chase a person, Aries might chase conflict, but Aquarius chases ideas. All right, this cause will reflect the vision of a new society based upon blah, 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 blah. Oh my God, I can hear this guy's ass talking. Next. Your main task is to share in group work. Aquarius promises you a special adventure, and this challenge will be blah, 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 blah. Next, Bruno and Louise Huber. In the fixed air sign Aquarius, we are once more connected with the establishment and maintenance of a position in life. In Aquarius, conscious attitudes in thought, ethics, and philosophy come to the fore. Primary importance is attached to the rule of reason, where practical living is secondary. Aquarians know something about everything, and then they really do. Aquarius is a really smart side, and they revel in logical argument in which a certain proposition may be deduced from given premises. What are these guys writing for, okay. In other words, they have a strong urge to view the world rationally and to work out a system by which things can be reshaped in everyday life. They tend to build castles in the air. If the node receives an inconjunct, for instance, next. At their best, Aquarians strive to think clearly in order to see the world as it is, because the Aquarian mind is mostly occupied with this world and with the social order. It looks for an unambiguous, usable form of ethics that offers solutions for contemporary problems. In this respect, Aquarius is like the previous fixed sign Scorpio. The natives of both of these signs are interested in creating an ideal system. That's true. Now, in striving for a perfect social order, the first task is to keep inside one's own head. With the Aquarian node, the feelings often intervene and muddle with thoughts to some extent. Therefore, fuck it. This is all bullshit. That's bullshit. Let's go back to it. So, once again, South Node is in Leo. It's a bull. The South Node is a bull. It's too much Leo stuff. The North Node is where you want to go. You're going from the dragon's tail to the dragon's head. And you want to resolve the conflicts of the South Node and the nodes that you're resolving the conflicts of the South Node or the problems in the South Node part of your chart by in an Aquarian kind of way. So if you're too loud and proud, or you're too look at me, you might want to share some of the spotlight. And that's your goal in this life. But as I'm saying, it's not easy for this particular placement. It's difficult for them to share the spotlight because there's a lot of motherfuckers out there, and at their heart, there's a lot of fear where this overflows. And it's not that the Leo South Node fears that they're going to be left behind. They fear that they're not going to be good enough. They fear that their hair is out of place. They fear that their clothes are wrinkled. They fear they're not going to shine bright enough. These are hard-working motherfuckers. These guys were really hard. And they have a lot of fear that they're not going to live up to everyone's expectations, including their own. And so that's number one fear. And so they fear they're not going to live up to expectations. They fear they're going to be left behind. They fear that everything they've worked for is going to be gone. But it's a node, and it's too much. And so as such, they have to send it off to Aquarius. And Aquarius is going to share it with everybody. Leo has no problem sharing with everybody as long as the motherfuckers respect the king. And that's what this is all about. North Node in Aquarius, South Node in Leo, and that's the action. Once again, and I hope you guys learned a thing or two. Actually, I don't care. We just shine some light, and I hope you guys had a good time today. Once again, we're sponsored by the Astro-Side right here. And this is the super amazing Leo hoodie. It comes in different colors. I think this stuff is awesome. I really like this stuff. All right. Lots of different mugs. The leggings again, different meme t-shirts. And, it's one of the ways you can help support the channel. You can also donate to the channel using the PayPal link in the description box below. That always helps. Or if you want to learn more about astrology, just check out the link in the description box below to see what the next workshop is, and keep checking back for the specials. For those who don't know, we're on I do lots of live streams here on the channel, and by all means check it out. Subscribe to the channel, donate to the channel, have a lot of fun. And if you have your South Node in Leo, just lighten up a bit. You have to give people a chance to be wrong. Your goal is not to, although North Node and Aquarius make amazing leaders, and Leos are natural leaders, your goal is to just shine a light. Aquarius brings the water to the people. It's the humanitarian. It's shining a light on all this knowledge. That's the type of leader you have to be. And that's going to resolve a lot of the problems that you have, a lot of the insecurities of a South Node in Leo. And that's the action, guys. From TheSunnySide.net, I'm Sunny, wishing everyone the absolute best of a super beautiful day. And I'll see you guys soon.